Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys for Monday, January 19th, Martin Luther King Day, MLK Day, south of the border. Ian Cameron, Perlo with you. Alex B. Smith will be here in just a moment. Probably shaking off some of the disappointment from the Chicago Bears. That was an unbelievable football game yesterday, but certainly heartbreaking if you were rooting on the Chicago Bears as their season comes to an end. But that was a great game. But on we go. Life goes on, as they say. Old blood D, old blood ah. All right, a Monday slate. We already talked about there is a game underway already, of course, Buffalo, Carolina, which we talked about yesterday, and we did that because we knew we'd be starting this show after that game already started. So we will be talking about every other remaining game on the Monday slate. We got 9 more games still on tap, and we'll start with Washington, Colorado, which is at the second game of the TNT MLK Day doubleheader later on today. But first, though, we'll look back on the 3-game slate yesterday. The Dallas Stars' woes continue. 4-1 loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Very, very disappointing performance again, and no offense again for the Dallas Stars. It's now 3 straight losses for them with just 1 goal, and again, now falling to 2-9 in their last 11 games. So this has definitely been a disappointing stretch of hockey for the Dallas Stars, and you got to wonder now, the offense, and it's been very, very hard to come by. And it's just been a really tough go for them. Now, the Dallas Stars, and Matt Robinson and I were talking about this, that, they're not playing hockey that's overly important right now. What I mean by that is they're really in this place right now in the standings where they're not catching Colorado, probably. They're battling with Minnesota for second in the Central, and I don't think it matters that much to Dallas whether they have home ice advantage in that series or not, whether they fall to third or finish second. I don't think unless the roof absolutely caves in on Dallas, that any teams in the wild card or below them are really going to catch them. So they're in one of these spots where they're playing this the game in and game out where there's just not a lot tangibly on the line right now, other than maybe finishing second in the Central. Now, this is not an excuse, but I'm just trying to explain why it doesn't seem like they're lethargic right now. It's almost like they need something to inspire them right now, the Dallas Stars, to bring out their best. And you're just not seeing it right now at this point in time. It's monotonous hockey. That's what it is. It's monotonous hockey right now from the Dallas Stars. And, it's a hard team to bet on for me right now until they prove otherwise. And they lose 4-1 there to Tampa yesterday. Detroit rallies back after a rough start. They got behind 2-0 early, but they win 4-3 in overtime to brink it with the overtime winner. James Reimer in net. I thought he actually played pretty solid. Can't blame him like you could blame Merrilainen on Saturday. At the end of the day, it was Detroit was opportunistic. John Gibson was very good again. Ottawa had their chances to have more than 3 goals, but it was a pretty good effort again from John Gibson, and the Detroit Red Wings just keep on rolling, and now they keep pace with Tampa Bay. Those 2 teams atop the Atlantic Division right now with that 4-3 win. We had the first period over. Couldn't have been easier. We really, really like that. Ottawa's on a crazy run. I believe now it's 12-1 or 13-1 for the first period over now for Ottawa. So it's been an absolutely spectacular run as far as that goes. Swing and a miss. St. Louis was awful, and it's a terrible performance considering Edmonton was 1-7 on the second night of back-to-back games going into last night, and Edmonton still without Leon Draisaitl and on a back-to-back puts the boots to the St. Louis Blues, shuts them out 5-0. Again, not the greatest performance again from Jordan Binnington. He didn't have a lot of help though. Certainly the Blues were not very good in front of him, but give Edmonton credit. A nice 5-0 victory and a dominant weekend for the Edmonton Oilers as they go 11-0 over the weekend against Vancouver and St. Louis in back-to-back games. Perlo, your thoughts? Or Alex actually is here. Alex, welcome in. Bears, obviously, very disappointing. We won't go into too much of that, but hey, great season still. Your thoughts on that maybe, and what we saw Sunday in the NHL?
Yeah, no, not much on the Bears game. Like I said, great year and a close game. and that's a tough way to lose one. But like I said, it's been a hell of a year, and that was an entertaining game. If you're a football fan, there's no way you couldn't have enjoyed that. That was a perfect way to wrap up the weekend. And, well, I shouldn't say wrap up the weekend of football because, of course, we got the national championship game tonight. As far as NHL goes, like I said, it was kind of a short card. Wasn't the most exciting card. I only like 2 plays. One of them did come in, and it was my bargain bin, Vasily Podkolzin, getting a goal in that St. Louis blowout for Edmonton. That's a good win for Edmonton, right? Like, they need something of that stature to really be like, hey, like, we, bring the hammer to somebody and look like ourselves, especially in the absence of Leon Draisaitl, going away, dealing with family issues. And it's interesting. You talked about with Dallas and how they look a little lethargic. And I keep pointing to it, and I keep bringing up the list, and actually I need to bookmark it because it's on NHL.com. But just looking at how many players from each team are going to the Olympics. You've got teams like Dallas that have 7 players, teams like Minnesota with 8 major league players. They've actually got 11 because they've got some minor league guys going on as well. Tampa Bay with 10. Those are teams that, and Tampa Bay been playing their asses off. But like I said, Dallas has been struggling. These are teams I would be very cautious of as we get closer and closer to these guys, these core players going over to Milan. And these are the spots where we've talked about how condensed the schedule is, and when you add those components together, there's going to be some flat spots for these teams that shouldn't normally be flat spots. So like I said, I've been saying that tread very cautiously, and I've said more about looking at these teams or who we're fading, who we're following after, but this is starting to be a trend where, like I'm saying, Dallas and Minnesota specifically, not so much Tampa Bay. They've kind of been the odd man out in this case. But those 2 teams in particular, I would be very cautious of backing in some certain spots, just because of the fact that they've got guys who are distracted. They've got to get family things together. They've got to get their own travel plans and different things organized before they get on the road. And you may see some flat spots. And when you're talking about all the core players, not just, these are just scattered 3rd and 4th liners. No, it's every important player for these respective teams that are going, and it could throw things off heading into before the break.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, we're down to crunch time right before the Olympic break. We're 2 weeks and change away from the Olympic break. So only 2 weeks and a couple days left of NHL before the Olympic break.
Hockey ends on the 5th, and then the Olympics start on the 6th. So
that's right. Although the men's portion of the Olympic hockey will not begin until the following week. So they're going to give these guys, a few days to get over there and obviously get comfortable. They won't be starting the men's portion of the tournament to the middle of the week after the season is put on pause on the Thursday of the 5th.
Get used to that home, the backyard rinks that they've built over there in Italy.
I know, exactly. Let's just make sure we get the holes on the ice surface out of there by the time this thing starts. I mean, it's been a shit show, man, here in Milan Cortina, putting this thing together. But nevertheless, the show is apparently going on, and it'll be fascinating to see how it plays out. Perlo, your thoughts on Sunday?
Yeah, those are really good points about the Olympics and teams with a lot of Olympic, especially with, like you said, about teams that are kind of in that spot, like Dallas is, where, they're not really desperate to win. But I also think with I had the Lightning and the under in that game. But I also think that Dallas is really working on systems right now. Gullickson is a guy, is a very intelligent coach. And I think one of the things that has been a problem in the playoffs in the past for them is they haven't had a varied way to beat teams. They pretty much went DeBoer's really only got one way, and and previous coaches as well. And if you see like the Florida Panthers that have won the cups in the past and stuff, they can beat you several ways. And I think they're really working on that right now. And they're kind of struggling with it. Like, it's all new to these players. But it's important for them to do it when they can. And I think they're doing it right now. That's what I'm watching them. I'm seeing like indecision and things that you normally don't see from a lot of these great players that the Stars have. And I think that's probably why. I had the under in that game. And the Lightning, on the other hand, when you look at it from a different perspective, I mean, you have these guys know exactly what they're doing. Like, they've been playing with each other for a long time. Their minor league system, or not minor league, in the minors, that it has been exactly that's the system and what to do and how to change it. And the hybrid system is done right from the bottom up there, and it has been for quite some time. So they're quite used to it. So that's why I think like a team like the Lightning are just successful right now, is just because they have been working under this system for a very long time, and they can win in many, many ways. And they're not afraid of it. And Dallas, I think, is just learning this, which is good for them in the long run. But right now, yeah, they're kind of like a not bet on team for the reasons you suggested and for the reasons I'm suggesting. The Senators are another team. They got quite a few guys going to the Olympics. So that could bring up, that's some points with them as well, except they should be in a more desperate spot. But I had the Red Wings in that game. I don't know. I still think something tells me the Senators are going to pull it, go on a run here, maybe after the break or something like that. But
they're a classic case of their analytics are awesome, and they're not, the win-loss record is not matching that.
That's right.
They're a classic case of it right now, Ottawa.
Yeah, and goaltending. I mean, that's
why.
You're not good.
That's why.
But that being said, I said it on the chat yesterday. I hope a bunch of people grabbed it. I had Reimer over 22.5 yesterday as my biggest bet. I love that play. Love. As I was talking before about how every time I've seen Reimer put in these spots, he's played well. And he did play well. It wasn't anything to do with goaltending in that game. It was actually more to do with the Red Wings team that was really driven and playing very well. But he played very well in that game. I think I had the Blues as well. But again, there was and I got to thank JD for this. I got to send it out. He sent me Snuggerud over shots yesterday. Be watching for Snuggerud over shots. They're giving it to you at plus 137, and he's going way over that right now. So he gave it to me.
No adjustment since he's been back. Those are the kind of things you can capitalize on.
Yeah,
for sure.
Excellent play. So I had that, and I actually took Ingram over saves yesterday because only 21.5. So that saved me from the Blues pick. But I was like you. I mean, I saw the Blues, and I saw the Blue, the Everton record and all that kind of stuff like that. And but didn't work out. But
we got a bargain bin from Alex B. Smith. I know he wasn't on the show yesterday, but it was on the Patreon page. We did post it. He did send it along, and
you had that play too, Ian. You had.
I bet it was not a bargain bin, but I did bet.
Right, but you bet it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was. It was great to see. He's bet on right now. Material Bud Coulson, especially with Leon.
Invoices on the way. I'll pay you back in Jaime's there, JD. No worries.
Yes. There you go, JD, with the quip there in the chat. But yeah, Vasily Podkolzin bargain bin special. Again, we seem to be having at least one of these coming through from one of us on the show of late, which has been great to see with the bargain bin special. And there's a bunch that I really like later on for bargain bin candidates. So we'll get to those in just a moment. All right, we will pick up with the next game to begin on this Monday, and that is Washington, Colorado, the second game of the TNT Monday afternoon MLK Day doubleheader. We've got Colorado minus 200 home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. Colorado, for the first time, there's been a little bit of a decline, a little bit of a drop off in their level of play. Nothing alarming, nothing to panic about. This team that's still crushing the rest of the league, as far as the standings are concerned, still way ahead of the next closest team in the NHL in the standings. But there are some things to be concerned about. I think number one is this team has been giving up a few more goals lately. We saw Toronto be able to score against them. We obviously saw Nashville have a ton of offensive success against them as well in that last game that they played against the Predators. It's just been, things just haven't been smooth sailing right now for the Avalanche. And I'd even say that the goaltending's been just a little bit shaky as well. And Blackwood, who got the start against Nashville, clearly he was having a lot of the same issues that we saw with Aiden Hill for the Vegas Golden Knights. He had been out for a long period of time and just did not look all that comfortable, all that on top of his game in that first start in quite a while. So that played a role in Nashville being able to have a lot of success as well there in that game. Not to mention, and I said this in our group chat, it's time people put some respect on Devon Taves. This is a great defenseman, okay? He is as important, in my opinion, when I watch the Avs, he is as important as Cale Makar. because he can do both. He can do the Cale Makar stuff, skate the puck, play on the power play, but he does a lot of the defensive stuff too, where he's good in good position, clears the front of the net, blocks a ton of shots, plays on the penalty kill, does all that stuff for you as well. I don't think it's a complete coincidence that this little 2-4 slide for Colorado in their last 6 games has come at the same time of Devon Toews' absence. He's missed 6 games with that upper body injury he suffered. They're 2-4 since he suffered that injury. So they miss him. There is no doubt about that in the lineup right now. That being said, you got this team now off back-to-back home losses. Haven't seen that all year. It's got that feel of that classic Colorado steps up and, gets the job done and maybe decisively. And Washington's not playing great either right now. 3 of their last 4 games they've lost. They just dropped the last 2 games of their homestand against Florida and San Jose. So Colorado, if they turn things up, can certainly win this game. Maybe they do, but I'm not really rushing to take Colorado because I just see they're a little out of sorts right now, and especially going back to the injury to Toews where they've gone 2-4 without him. I'm certainly not going against the Avs in this spot, but I'm stopping short of taking them, especially at this price. What I will do is I'll sprinkle here. These are small bets, nothing strong for me in this game, but give me the goal in the first 5 minutes at plus 152 at FanDuel. I think we have a chance maybe to see one quickly. We've certainly seen that cash in a bunch of times with Colorado at home, and I like this first period over in this Capitals Avs game as well. That's about it for me here in this game. Just a little sprinkle on the first goal in the first 5 at a plus price and the first period over here with Capitals and Avalanche. Alex, what do you think here? Washington, Colorado.
Yeah, this is the game where I would like to wait and grab a 6, but I will cushion myself with that goal in first 5 minutes. Because plus 152, we know how hot that's been all year with Colorado, especially at home. But I feel like if that doesn't cash through, we'll have enough time to grab a 6 or even a 5.5 and get that over. This is a game where I could see more goals coming in the second and third period. So not really loving that first period over so much. But goal in first 5 minutes, this is a little bit of a buffer. Where the bigger player we're looking for is the over 6 in game.
That is correct. To Exotic Wagers, our guy Dre. Great to see Dre in the chat. He's part of Perlo's show on a nightly basis. Most nights, Tom Wilson not back. He's not ready to return just yet. And we'll see if maybe the next game he'll make his return here for Washington. Perlo, what have you done here with this game, Washington, Colorado? You're muted. There you go.
I think that's the first time I've ever done that.
You're having a tough day with the mute button. You didn't mute yourself when you were coughing up a lung there a few minutes ago, and now you forget to unmute yourself.
Well, when I was coughing, I went to go hit the mute, and I didn't hit it. Yeah. And then I look up and go, oh, shoot. And now I hit it. All right, whatever. Colorado team total over is what I like in this game. I think Colorado will get 4 in this game. It's without Toews, it has been tough, but I just can't. Just after that Nashville loss, and you got Ovi coming to town. I mean, this is a big game. This is a big game for Washington too. So I like the over for the game. I think this is going to be pretty back and forth. I think Colorado is going to play with a lot of pace here. No screwing around. Not going to play some defensive battle against Washington here. They want to get up. They want to get up early, and they want to keep going. And I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, to tell you the honest truth. But without Wilson in there, I think they're overmatched up the middle. Not that Wilson is I think they're already overmatched up the middle. And you got McKinnon and Nelson. So give me Nelson over 1.5 points in this one, too. I wish it was bargain bin worthy, but it's not. It's about plus 280. He's been flying. And give me a goal for him as well. But the team total over for Colorado is where I'm looking most here. I also have Avalanche second period puck line. They've been amazing second period team. So I have a little bit on that to cover my butt in case maybe they don't get the team total over.
All right, good stuff there. Again, that's TNTs. They have a doubleheader this afternoon, and that game is the second game of the doubleheader. For me, I'm going to go with Jake Chychrun, for a goal prop scored in the last game for the Washington Capitals, and I could see this being a game where when you're playing Colorado, you almost feel like, you need to get involved more in the offense because you know how dangerous and lethal they can be. And Brock Nelson with goals in back-to-back games for the Colorado Avalanche. We've certainly talked about it a bunch, just how good he has been all season for the Avs. So those are definitely a couple of props that I'm interested in here this afternoon in this one. All right, next up, we've got Pittsburgh, Seattle. This is a 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 p.m. local start time in the Emerald City, where it is Seahawks fever right now, I'm sure, in town. We've got Pittsburgh minus 130, road favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. I did a Penguins draw split here. I mean, it's a real tough spot for Seattle. That was a pretty lengthy road trip. We kind of saw at the end of that trip against Utah running on fumes a little bit, where the Kraken losing 6-3 to the Mammoth. 5-game road trip that went through Carolina, New York, New Jersey, Boston, Utah, and this now is going to be their 6th game in 10 days, which is not an easy spot by any stretch of the imagination for the Kraken off a road trip like that. Pittsburgh, meanwhile, off the 4-3 shootout loss to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Really, when you look at Pittsburgh, they're 6-4 in their last 10 games, and every loss, they've been right there. This could easily be a 10-game winning streak right now for the Penguins, quite honestly, because they're 6-4 in their last 10. They lost 2-1 to Calgary. They lost 1-0 to Boston. They lost 2-1 in a shootout to Tampa. And, of course, they lost 4-3 in a shootout to Columbus in their last game. So even the losses, they've been right there. They start this road trip. I think they might have a chance to maybe take advantage of a jet-lagged, road-weary Seattle coming in back home. So I ended up going with a Pittsburgh minus a 130 here in this game, and just a small sprinkle on the draw here as well with the Penguins and the Kraken, making note of the fact that we did see overtime in the last meeting between these two teams. The biggest concern I would have as far as Pittsburgh is the fact they've had very little success against Seattle. In fact, Seattle is 7-1 in the last 8 meetings between these two teams, but I just hate this spot for Seattle. I think it's very tough. And I think the Penguins might have the chance to take advantage of it. But again, series history, the price being what it is, because I can't say I'm ever loving the idea of laying $130 with the Penguins on the road, but I think Pittsburgh should take advantage of this situation. What do you think here, Alex? Pittsburgh, Seattle?
Yeah, this is a classic over by factor spot. You can get it minus 124, both first period over and full game over 5.5 at FanDuel with those prices. You can also decide to play a little small and try and get plus money in game as well. But I like goals here in this spot. Like I said, with the travel spot, this being a kind of a tough spot for Seattle, early start, this feels like it could be just a slop fest, and we get a lot of goals back and forth.
Yeah, Skinner, I believe, is going to be a net for the Penguins. It's not confirmed, but it's projected. And Philip Grubauer projected right now for the Seattle Kraken here in this game. And he was in, although he was in net for that Utah loss, giving up the 5 goals. They've got him projected, but we'll see about that. Could be Decord. We'll have to wait and see. But Perlo, what do you think here? Pittsburgh, Seattle.
Yeah, I've been all over the place in this game. I mean, my first instinct was to take Seattle last night.
Should be an over spot. I agree with Alex, but
and then
Seattle,
I looked at the schedule.
With Seattle, sometimes should be over spots, aren't over spots, but it should be.
And Penguins haven't been scoring; they've been playing very defensively. I was almost only no goals first 5 and under 6.5. And then I looked at the spot, like you said, 6 games in 10. I mean, Seattle played some tough games. So what I finally went with here is Grubauer over saves. I think that's all I got really solid right now. If I were to play the Pittsburgh, I think I like Pittsburgh first period puck line. Seattle coming off the road like that. Pittsburgh's a good first period team. Seattle's not so much. I would take Pittsburgh first period puck line. I'll look more into it, but this, I'll tell you, I was talking about it last night. The Seattle team's just got so much heart. That's what's hard to bet against them, is they are playing with a lot of heart, this team. And if you're not coming in there really wanting to beat these guys, they're going to keep up with you until their legs fall off. So Pittsburgh may win this one down the stretch, but I think it's going to be tough. And I like the draw. I do have a little bit on the draw. I could see this with Pittsburgh having to play first game of a road trip. I don't mind the draw, but I'm going to take Grubauer over saves as my favorite. Pittsburgh will be shooting a lot in this game, I'm sure. So that I like. but
Yeah,
it's not here. Whoever it is, Grubauer or DeCord or whatever, I don't know what the number's going to be. It's probably going to be not too bad.
Yeah, Jared McCann, I can see that angle. He is a former Penguin. He finds the back of the net for Seattle. That's quite possible, so I don't mind that. Look, Chandler Stevenson and Sidney Crosby are on back-to-back or 2 consecutive game goal-scoring streaks, so keep that in mind if you want to ride the streak, both of them. They've scored now in back-to-back games. There could be props that are worth a look there as well. All right, let's move on to San Jose and Florida. This game, 6 p.m. Eastern. Note the start time here. For this one, we've got Florida minus 170, home favorite, 6.5, the total in this game. I'm sure there's a lot of people that just casually bet NHL, and they see Florida versus San Jose, and some of them know that San Jose has been terrible for many years and just say, if this is Florida all the way, and they're getting Matthew Tkachuk back, for the first time this season, and thinking, hey, Florida's got to win in this spot. I'm not so sure about that. You look at Florida, they're coming off a pretty lengthy road trip, a very sizably long road trip, one that had them going to a bunch of different places. Started in Eastern Canada, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal. They did the 3 Eastern Canadian teams. Then they went south of the border, stayed in the East. Then they went up to down to Carolina, back up to Washington on a back-to-back. 3rd and 4 nights now as well for the Florida Panthers. And then you come home from that long road trip, and you're home for this 1-game pit stop. Back home, and then you're on the road for 3 more after this. So I don't think it's a great spot at all for Florida. And how many times do we see this? You get one of your best players back in the lineup. You lose that game. You lose that first game with one of your best players in the lineup because it shakes up chemistry. That player needs a game under his belt to get back into game speed and game rhythm. And I'm telling you, whether it's NBA or NHL, it is not necessarily a bet-on spot or situation when you for one of the best players on the team, coming back. That's just the way it is. San Jose, they've been off since Friday. They did the back-to-back in Washington and Detroit. They beat Washington Thursday. They lost against Detroit on Friday. They've had 2 days off, 2 days to get down. And they've been waiting for Florida, really, before Florida got a chance to go back there after the Washington game on Saturday. And the Sharks have been a very feisty at times road team. I thought they played one hell of a great game against the Washington Capitals. I thought they were in the game against Detroit. That definitely could have gone either way. We know how well the Red Wings have been playing. I think at this price, placing a bet on San Jose is well worth it, in my opinion. So I'm on the Sharks here, plus 150, split with team total, over 2.5 here in this game. I'm going to wait for a 5.5 in-game with the total here and bet that. San Jose has gone under in 2 straight. Keep that in mind. 2 straight unders for San Jose after that that crazy 12-0-1 overrun that they went on in 13 games. But I am interested at a 5.5 for this over. Nedeljkovic is in net. He's won 3 straight starts, and he's played very well in these last few starts. He's been in net for the Sharks. I guess the biggest concern I would have and the biggest obstacle for the Sharks to overcome is the fact that Florida, this will be Sergei Bobrovsky's first time starting since what happened when he was last in net. It was that 9-goal shellacking at the hands of the Carolina Hurricanes on Friday night. And there's always that little element that says, goalie Bob pissed off after being in net for those 9 goals. Watch him show out today. That's probably the biggest fear I have. But at this price, still, give me the San Jose Sharks. I think it's a very, very tough spot for Florida. And they're going right back on the road after this. What do you think here, Alex? San Jose, Florida.
Only thing I have here is Sharks to score first goal, first period early. I got that at plus 150. Might want to wait and grab that team total over. I like seeing minus 140, 145 with Sharks. I would try and grab a little bit better of a pricing game. But I do like the Sharks to get on the board early in this one. Like I said, it's a tough travel spot for Florida. And once again, like I said, with Florida, another team where you got guys coming in the lineup, guys getting ready to leave for break. Shout out Uvis Belinskas. He has been hot, scoring again. After signing that contract. I know somebody mentioned him at plus, I think, 1,700 score goal tonight. So still some good value with him. But yeah, I think Sharks to get a goal early in that first period is the only thing I have pregame and might add some stuff live.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely think you got to sprinkle on it. You're right, contract bump. This was one of the more unexpected contract bumps that we have seen, but the fact remains Uvis Belinskas is now back-to-back games with a goal since that re-upping with the Florida Panthers. And yes, Colin Graff has Got to bet it. 3 straight games with a goal for him once again. Continues to be undervalued. Still getting over plus 400 for him to score. So, yeah, absolutely got to rock the Colin Graf Express one more time here as well. Perlo, what do you think here? Sharks, Panthers?
Yeah, I really like the Sharks here. This is a terrible spot for Florida. Not only are they coming back off that road trip, they're taking off right after this, too. It's an island game, and they're going to Winnipeg. I mean, that's something that makes you jump for joy. And with Tkachuk coming in, I think that's just going to mess up the lines a little bit. I think it's also an exhale spot for a lot of players when you get a big player like that. It just seems like the players that have been taking his spot kind of go, all right, Tkachuk's back. We're all good now. I like San Jose here. I also like him first period as well, but I always forget Alex with that first goal, first period or goal first period. That's a good play. So I'm going to take that as well. I think San Jose is going to come out hot. And I like over for the game. But I got it at a 6, and I'm playing it at the 6. So I have over for the game and probably San Jose team total over. But you got a spot like this, you got to play it. San Jose's not getting valued where they should be here. They're getting very undervalued here. So I'll take it at +1. I got a +155.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the spot is very, very dubious here for the Florida Panthers here going into this game. The 1-game pit stop at home and then going back on the road after this. So we'll see how it plays out as far as this game goes. All right, on we go. Next up, it is Minnesota-Toronto. It's on Monday. It's only on Prime. This is your Amazon Prime Monday Night Hockey matchup. We've got -110 here, both sides. 6 the total in this game. We talked about how tough spot it is for Florida. It's pretty tough for Toronto as well. When you look at this week that was, think about if you put it into context and you really examine what they've gone through the last week. They played 4 road games, 3 of them barn burners, overtime games, needing to exhaust yourselves, needing max intensity, max effort in 3 of those games. The Colorado game overtime on Monday last week. The Vegas game on Thursday, the big Mitch Marner against his former team for the first time game. That went to overtime. Winnipeg, that game the pace was off the charts with that Leafs and Jets game on Saturday night. Up back and forth it went. That game goes to overtime. They take 3 of 4 on the road trip. The only one they lost, or actually they lost to Vegas in overtime, but they got 5 out of a possible 8 points on that road trip when it was all said and done. So it ended up being a pretty successful road trip for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And you wrap it up with that great win in overtime against the Winnipeg Jets. And like I said, now you're back home for your 5th game in 8 days. 3 of those 4 games were absolute barn burners, like I said, going to overtime. This has the makings of that. Can't flip, on a cold winter morning, and we're all, feeling that right now, or at least a lot of us are, and the motor in the car the ignition won't turn. That could be the Leafs tonight. They just can't flip that switch, and there's nothing in the tank coming off a road trip like that. Think about that road trip. Grueling games, high-pressure games, max effort, max intensity. You exhaust yourself. You go to overtime 3 of those 4 games. You have all this great success. You have an end-up pretty good road trip with a great finish to Winnipeg. This has a clunker written all over it here for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. My only fear is Minnesota's hell of a banged-up team right now, especially up front. We talked about it. Now, they overcame it against Buffalo with the overtime win on Saturday, 5-4, but they are still a little bit short-handed, especially up front with Matt Boldy, out for the Minnesota Wild on IR. Joel Eriksson-Ek on IR. Marcus Johansson out. You're still missing Jonas Brodin on the blue line. So it is a little bit of a depleted team, but I still think even with those injuries, it's a very tough spot here for this Toronto Maple Leafs team tonight. So I'm on Minnesota first goal, first period. Jump on the Leafs early. That's probably when they'll be sluggish out of the gate. First period money line, full game money line split with the Minnesota Wild as well. Minnesota continues to be an over machine with Quinn Hughes. I know someone mentioned under in the chat, and I don't love this over, but I ain't betting a Minnesota under right now. With Quinn Hughes, ever since they got him in that trade, I mean, their record to the over has been pretty amazing when it's all said and done. I will try to wait, see if I can find a quick 5.5 with this total. It won't have to wait long, but I think I'll be able to get one in game. What do you think here, Alex? Minnesota, Toronto.
Yeah, I lean with this over, but at 6 is one where I can kind of try and wait and grab a 5.5, see where the pace of play is going. But I love the draw here in this spot. Got plus 340 over at Caesars. We've seen serious draw history. We've seen 3 of the last 5 meetings go past regulation. Like I said, both of these teams have had overtime games in their last, actually 3 of the last 4 for Toronto going past regulation. So plus 340 is a great bargain, but I think the Wild could maybe steal one here, get that second point. So plus 550 with the Wild to win in overtime or shootout over at FanDuel.
This feels like that Columbus-Pittsburgh game on Saturday night. It really does, where I think we could hit all these bets. And I know Alex did, and I think we could. I think we could get and I think the draw, I got to bet the draw too, because I'm just looking at it now. Toronto's gone to past regulation now in a whopping 5 of their last 8 games. So that's a ton of overtime for them. And the Wild, 5 of their last 9 games have gone past regulation. 3 of the last 5 meetings between the teams have gone past regulation. So the draw's got to be in play. This could be one of these deals where it worked out this way with Columbus-Pittsburgh. We had Columbus early. We had Columbus to get the first goal. We had Columbus money line. We had the draw in that game. It all hit. And I think we could get something similar here where we're on the right side with Minnesota. We hit all those Minnesota bets, but we do get the draw and we get the game to go to overtime or a shootout as well. I think there's some possibility that can happen. What do you think here in this one, Perlo? Wild Leafs.
Yeah, it's extremely tough spot. Yeah, I knew that Alex was going to be all over the draw here. That was my first bet on this game, was a draw. It's just there's just too many draw opportunities here. Draw opportunities. Anyways,
very good, Perlo.
So I like it. Toronto will probably fight real hard in this game, but like you said, it is a terrible spot. It's hard to take an over in this game. I think it could be very, very tight. I don't want to touch the total right now. If the Wild get up, if Toronto gets up early, I really like the over more. I like to see Toronto score first, and then but then you don't want to bet it after that, because I think Minnesota will wake up, will shake it off and win. Actually, if Toronto scores first, then I'm on the Wild. I think Toronto's going to fade down at the end. So give me the draw. I agree with you. Minnesota ML and the draw. It's probably my 2 bets right now. First period. Oh, what did I have? First period goal, first period, just because Toronto's coming off that road trip. So, and I got a bargain bin in this game. So
yeah, this has become a system play for me. Yeah. System play for me is just automatically I gravitate to the first goal, first period for a team catching a team coming off a long road trip. It's cashed at a very high percentage, and obviously that says to take Minnesota tonight to get the first goal in the first period of this game. As far as props go for tonight with the Wild and the Leafs, there are a couple that stand out. I'm going to go back to the well with the same, cast of characters that are filling these spots with the injuries. Hartman with Zuccarello and Kaprizov worth a look. Yurov with Tarasenko, and even Yakov Trenin might be on the second line tonight for the Minnesota Wild. Could be worth a look. You're certainly going to get value with all of them. For Toronto, the one I'm interested in the most probably for them right now tonight would be McMahon. McMahon's just been rock steady, consistent. He's up with Matthews and Domi right now. So, like I said, definitely I think a prop there with him worth a look here as well. All right, Philadelphia, Vegas. We've got Vegas minus 200 home favorites. 6 the total in this game. Rick Tocchet and the Flyers certainly need to clean up their defensive act lately. It's been obviously not good enough for the Philadelphia Flyers right now as far as their defensive game is concerned. It's fallen apart, really. And it's not going to get any easier right now because this Vegas Golden Knights team is just lighting the lamp at a very heavy clip of late. Vegas entering this game during this 7-game win streak that they're on. Look at the goals they put up, 4+ in 6 of those 7 games. So they are having no trouble whatsoever putting the puck in the net. So things aren't going to get any easier here for a Flyers team that during this 6-game losing streak, they've allowed 5 or more in 5 of those 6 losses. So it's not going to get any easier here for this Vegas team. Yeah, I'm not, Jonathan. I'm with you. I like Vegas team total over. They got to show it to me. They can clean it up defensively. And is Vladar back tonight? Is he ready to return in net? And if he's not, these two goalies, they're not capable right now. They're not playing well, either one of them. Ersson continues to struggle. You can't put Kolosov in. It'll be Ersson, if anybody. I don't see Vladar returning. I mean, every site I see still got him on the IR unless all of a sudden, it's a last. Yeah, he's put on injured reserve today, Dan Vladar. So it's Ersson again. I'm sure it will be. They can't put Kolosov in. It'll be Ersson, and Ersson's not much of an upgrade right now with what I've seen from him. So I'm on the over by Fecta, and I'm on Vegas team total over here. And we talk about how these Vegas games have been going over the total lately as well. And of course, we know at home first period overs have been just phenomenal for the most part. So yeah, for me, it's over by Fecta, and for me, it's Vegas team total over 3.5 as well. Got to see it from the Flyers. Until I see a shutdown defensive performance, yeah, this is the route to take right now. Dare them to show it defensively. I mean, when you're getting lit up by the Rangers of all teams for 6 goals, like I said, there's some problems. What do you think here, Alex? Flyers, Golden Knights.
Yeah, right there on that first period over, I grabbed minus 130 at Caesars. If you see anything higher than 140, I'd say wait a couple minutes and grab that in game, which is also what I'm doing with that total of 6.5s are popping up. So try and grabbing a 6 in game. And I probably will lean with Vegas team total over too. I'm seeing minus 122 at FanDuel. Like I can't back Philly in this spot and certainly can't lay a big price with Vegas, but they should be able to get 4 goals here. Like I said, against Ersson or Kolosov, whichever one they have to throw in there. The goaltending's been a mess. The defense has been a mess. So Vegas team total, first period over, pregame, full game over, in game.
I think I like the over by Fecta. I've got more money on the over by Fecta split than I do Vegas team total over. And the reason for that is because I think Philly could find the back of the net here. Let's not forget this probably will be Aiden Hill starting, and it'll be his second start, and he didn't look sharp. He did not look sharp or steady or comfortable or fluid in the net whatsoever in that return against Toronto last week. I know they came back and they won that game, but he did not look sharp. Now, maybe he should be better, a little bit better tonight, having the game under his belt, but it still could take him a little bit of time for Aiden Hill to find his comfort zone again after being out for so long. What do you think here, Perlo? Flyers, Golden Knights?
Yeah, Hill didn't look sharp, and for that reason, I think Vegas is going to play sharper defensively. So I'm not sure that Philadelphia is going to be able to pop much here. And I'm seeing a Philadelphia team that is completely dejected. And it's hard to play hockey when you have no goaltender. It's just extremely difficult to be able to play systems and do what you want to do, take risks or anything like that. Like when you constantly feel like any mistake is going to go in the net, it's really hard. It's really tough on the team. And Ersson just is not getting it done at all. Like he's struggling hardcore. So I like Vegas team total over here most. That's my favorite play on this one, is Vegas team total over. I may put a little bit on the over as well, but I really think it's going to be mostly Vegas. And I think I like that over first period, but I'm going to take Vegas team total over 1.5. I'm going to take Vegas minus 0.1. First period, actually. You can get that at +3 something. And Vegas, and the same thing for the second period, minus 0.5. I think Vegas is going to ruin Philadelphia here. I forgot about that in the Colorado game. Colorado -1 second period was another play that I had on that. And I can thank another JD for that. But I think Philadelphia is just in a bad way right now. And I don't see it changing against a Vegas team that just got their general manager gave him a vote of confidence by giving him another defenseman that they've been waiting for a real long time since Peter Angelo left. Like, I think Vegas is going to be high on the hog here, and they're going to fly all over Philadelphia.
Well, the thing is, and we haven't even brought that up yet about that trade, but obviously that was the news yesterday, is that Rasmus Andersson, now a member of the Vegas Golden Knights. And when I look at that trade, I'll say this: this is the Pietrangelo replacement. There's no question about that, because they knew they had lost him, and his career probably is over at this point, which is unfortunate. But they know that they still needed another, top pair, the second pair defenseman to really take this blue line to another level. And I think it's fair to say that now they've found it here in Rasmus Anderson, who's can be good defensively, who can play the power play, can shoot the puck, can do a lot of good things. I think he's started to get a little more physicality into his game of late than we've seen. Yeah, I mean, it sucks to part ways with White Cloud, but I thought Calgary did pretty good with the return. A couple of first rounders for the Vegas Golden Knights, and Zach Whitecloud going the other way. He's a very good, steady, shutdown, stay-at-home defenseman with some physicality. So, like I said, definitely it's a trade that I think serves the purposes of both teams quite well. You know, Calgary's rebuilding. Whitecloud's going to, certainly help them a little bit. Yeah, plus they could flip them for more draft picks and capital and prospects. 100% they could. So this is a good hockey trade, business-wise, for both teams. They both make out pretty well, here from this deal, Vegas and Calgary. Good stuff there indeed. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I think he's going to be making his Golden Knights debut tonight. Let me just see on that. But, yeah, I think so. But, like I said, stay tuned closer to puck drop. But I think he's got the chance probably to get there in time and be able to be in the lineup here tonight. All right, Winnipeg, Chicago. Winnipeg minus 140, road favorites. The total here sitting at 5.5 in some spots, 6 in others. So make sure you shop around. You guys know what we're doing here. Over 5.5. It's 9 straight for Winnipeg now. As far as 6+ goals, it's now 9 straight Winnipeg Jets games with 6+ goals. I think that continues here. Jets are playing an up and down style right now. It's been pretty crazy to see. Every game, it seems like they're going up and down. They're trading chances, a lot of loose, wide open play. We certainly saw that with the Jets and the Leafs. I mean, that was a hell of a pace they set on Saturday night. And plus, again, every game, Winnipeg's got gaffes defensively, and Hellebuck has not been a brick wall. And on offense now, they've found some confidence. They're scoring goals again, left and right, the Jets. So, yeah, I definitely like this over 5.5. Shop around because there are 5.5s. Make sure you get that. I'd rather have the 5.5 than the 6 here in this game. 3 straight overs in the series, actually, as well, between the Winnipeg Jets and the Chicago Blackhawks. I know we're going to get Hellebuck and probably Spencer Knight as your goaltending matchup, but that doesn't take me off this. 9 straight games to over 5.5 for Winnipeg games. We're riding it until it stops at this point. Alex, what do you think here? Jets, Blackhawks. Oh, by the way, Jonathan Taves, big night for him. Back in Chicago for this first NHL game for another team besides, obviously, the Chicago Blackhawks. So should be quite the scene with the Winnipeg Jets and Jonathan Taves coming back to the Windy City here tonight at the Madhouse on Madison. Alex, Jets, Blackhawks.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of an emotional feel. We had it on Saturday with all the guys from the 2010, 13, 15 teams in the building. But now to have the captain back home for the first time as a member of a visiting team, that's certainly going to be a moment for sure. And I like him to score a goal tonight. You can get him. He's within bargain bin range at some shops. So shop around plus 290, plus 310 is the range where I'm seeing him. He's not my bargain bin pick, but he will be on my card tonight as a goal scorer. But I like goals in this game. It's an over by Fecta. You can get 5.5 minus $1.22 at DraftKings. You can get minus $1.20 with that first period over at Caesars. I like Hawks team total over 2.5 at minus 130 as opposed to just taking them on the money line, because I feel like this could be a back and forth game. We've seen, whether it's high scoring or low scoring affairs, the Jets hang around with the Hawks and get those wins late. So that's why I'm a little hesitant on backing Hawks money line. I like that team total a little bit more. I also have both teams to score in the first period at plus 164 over at FanDuel. So over by Fecta, well, actually over trifecta, I should say. And then we have Hawks team total, and I have a bargain bin from the Hawks and Jonathan Taves, the anytime goal scorer.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it was great to see Ed Olczyk and Pat Foley for the event on Saturday. No doubt. Dustin Bufflin. Yeah, that was a great, for Blackhawks fans, it was all downhill after the first period of that Boston-Chicago game.
Right.
But the first period, they played well, and the ceremony and all the stuff they did with the old Blackhawks coming back, and Pat and Edzo reunited as well. That was great. That was awesome to see that. No question. Well done on that end. Perlo, Winnipeg, Chicago.
This is actually a bad spot for Winnipeg, too. They're come from home all the way to Chicago and then back home to play St. Louis after this. And I have a theory, and I used this theory when Nelson was going back to the island, that when you have a player iconic, I mean, Taves is more iconic in Chicago than, of course, but when you have a player that's iconic like that, I don't like the energy for the team that player is playing for. It's too much happy pat on the back. Call this the Tortorella play. Tortorella, if you don't hate the opposition, you're probably losing the game. And I agree with that. And I think that the feel here is going to be very tough for Winnipeg to get up and hate Chicago in this game. And I'm taking Chicago. I'm taking Chicago plus 120. Just a little bit on that theory. I've got the over, same thing, same reasons for the usual stuff that you're talking about when you're just looking at trends. But this is a theory play. I got a little bit on Chicago. We'll see if we actually hit it here. I'm going to play more on the over, but I'm going to see if it hits. It's been something I've been watching for a while, and I haven't been tracking it, but I find quite often when you get these iconic players or players that were like strong in the community and have long time serving, big fan, great players that have played for the opposition, they usually lose. And it worked for me when Nelson went back for the Islanders, and I'm going to see if it works for me here.
Yeah, no doubt. Now it didn't. Now you could say though it didn't happen for Boston the other night because they were coming off Zdeno Chara's big night against Seattle, and they were managed to avoid that trip up spot in Chicago and still beat the Blackhawks Saturday, coming off the big night for Zdeno. So we have seen examples of it where the team's been able to still win. But you're right. There's been instances where
this is the difference is when the player is actually playing in the game. That's the
right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say different scenario, and I was gonna say to the extent I get what you're saying, and I think that is a valid point. There's a valid angle. A little different here when you're talking about division rivals that didn't like. The Jets didn't like the Hawks when Taves was there. I don't think that's going to be so much of a show to where it encompasses where it changes the Jets' mood about the Hawks. Like that's still a division rival, and that's a team that's ahead of them in the race.
We'll see because
race.
That's true.
I think hate is going to have a big part of this, and I think actually a lot of these
two teams hate each other. These two teams do not like each other. Like that has been for a decade. So I don't think they're gonna have the ceremony and stuff. I think the fans are gonna be more enthralled with Taves coming back than anybody on the ice will, in my opinion.
We'll see, but a lot of these Chicago players never played with Taves. They might have admired him, but they
exactly. That's precisely it. They grew up watching him.
Chicago's going to have more hate in their hearts right now, especially they're in a desperate spot, and you got Winnipeg in a bad spot already in a bad travel spot. So I'm going to give
disclosure. I'd be on Winnipeg, but the price is just a little rich for me. But I lean Winnipeg. I actually lean with the Jets a little bit. But
all right, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I'm not putting a ton on it. I'm just going on theory and seeing how it turns out. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
Yeah, I do like Jonathan Taves prop, though. I do. I think, like I said, and plus he's been picking it up offensively. We've talked about that. He's been scoring a little bit more. Ryan Green, you cashed a bargain bin with him the other night. I had that goal prop the other night, and it looks like Tara Vinen's still out. Doesn't look like Burakovsky may go.
Colton Dock is moving up in that top spot with Burakovsky potentially out tonight. Right. So.
Yeah, so keep that in mind. Yeah, so Colton Dock might have some value with Bedard if he's flanking Bedard on that right side of that top line. So could be a couple of props worth looking at there. All right, New Jersey, Calgary. New Jersey minus 120 road favorites, 6 the total in this game. Calgary, nice win against the New York Islanders. See if they can build on that, although this will be the first Calgary game post-Rasmus Anderson trade, and obviously that leaves a decent amount more of a void to fill on that blue line moving forward. Looks like Jan Kuznetsov, Mackenzie Weegar, Kevin Ball, Zach Whitecloud, Joel Hanley, and Hunter Brustowicz are going to be the defenseman here for the Calgary Flames tonight moving forward. I mean, I could see Calgary, having a tougher time on the blue line. That's the guy that plays every situation, all those great minutes. I kind of lean Jersey here, but again, do I really want to lay minus 120 with Jersey on the road that badly? This Devils team, I'm not so sure about that. Is Jacob Markstrom back in Calgary, where he obviously had a long tenure with the Flames, a lot of good memories there. Maybe that gets the best performance out of him here tonight in this game, being back in Calgary. And it is worth noting that after that 9-goal disaster against the Islanders, he's been a little bit better here the last couple of starts, giving up just 8 goals in the last 3 starts combined. See if they can get a good start out of Markstrom here back in Calgary. But the problem is Devin Cooley is going to get the start here for Calgary. We've talked about how just a revelation he's been. He's been consistent. He's given the Flames a chance to win most times when he's been in net. So maybe this is one of those low and slow games, lean under. I'm going to sprinkle on the draw here in this game. And like I said, maybe a tiny bet on New Jersey, but I can't go big on them as a road favorite. That being said, I do kind of think Calgary could be a little bit of a adjustment period, especially on that back end, getting used to no Rasmus Andersson there. What do you think here in this one, Alex? New Jersey, Calgary.
Yeah, this is the spot where I like goals early in this one. I like the first period over. I like first period, both teams to score. But I'm going to take a small shot with Devils team total, getting a flat 3 at MGM minus $1.15. I'd rather lay $1.15, $1.20 on that team total than I would with Devils to win this game. I feel like they could at least get 3 goals. Like I said, Devin Cooley, as solid as he's looked, said it was, I think it was mostly parts of how the teams have been shooting against him. That's going to change now with no Rasmus Andersson. You losing your best defenseman is certainly going to impact not just Devin Cooley, but Dustin Wolf when he's starting again as well. So I'll be looking to back some team totals against Calgary in these next couple of games moving forward. I'll start here tonight with Devils flat 3 minus $1.15, along with the first period over and both teams to score the first.
That'll be interesting to see if that comes to fruition, because I think there's a sense for me as well that they could be giving up more goals too moving forward, and they're not going to be as insulated, Cooley or Wolf for that matter, without Rasmus Andersson back there. So this is definitely something worth monitoring. How is this Calgary team going to perform defensively in the immediate aftermath, these first few games following the trade of Rasmus Andersson yesterday to the Vegas Golden Knights? I will say, believe it or not, one of my bargain bin specials comes from this game. You wouldn't think that, right? New Jersey, Calgary, but there's one that I like quite a bit. I will save it for later. Perla, what do you think here? Devils, Flames.
I'm not sure Anderson is defensively is really, he's a play driver. I mean, that's what the problem that they have here is that they're losing a play driver.
They might be in their own zone more.
They might be in their own zone more. And Devin Cooley has been playing excellent. And one thing New Jersey does do on the road, although they do it like you can call them the Eastern Sternums, is they shoot right at the goaltender. So my best play here is Cooley over saves. I think Cooley over saves is the best play on this game. Besides that, I mean, this is a live bet. Calgary could do one of two things. I think one of the things Calgary could do here is wake up and go, oh my gosh, we don't want to lose, because they're a very close-knit family team. They are. That's why Kadri doesn't want to leave there. He says it's a great community. He loves the team. He loves the players. He loves everything. And losing a guy like Anderson could be like, hey, man, we all want to stay here, we better play our balls off today. And I think they will play their balls off today. So I'll put a little bit on the draw here. I kind of like the draw. Jersey's got to play the next game tomorrow. I could see the draw here. But my favorite's going to be Cooley over saves. And this 24.5, I think that's reasonable. I'll take Cooley over saves in this game.
All right, good stuff. 2 games left. Next up, we've got New York Rangers, Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim minus 135, home favorite, 6.5 the total in this game. I personally thought this line might be even a shade higher than it is. People would think, wow, Anaheim minus 135. No. Anaheim's minus 135 for a reason. They're starting to get their groove back. Now, I will say this. Dallas struggling big time and back-to-back wins against L.A., okay? It isn't like Anaheim has played the best cream of the crop during this 3-game win streak after that bad losing streak, but nevertheless, they're playing better again. I like where they're at, and they're trying to go on a run. And there's a beatable Rangers team. I don't buy that the Rangers, you got to win against Philly 6-3. They basically got the game handed to you by Kolosov and the Flyers early, and it was over in the first period. I'll dare the Rangers to play well and win 2 straight, now going all the way out to the West Coast here against this Anaheim team. So I laid the buck 35 here with the Anaheim Ducks. Not to mention, I think we're going to see Jonathan Quick in net. Maybe we don't, actually, because the one thing I will say is, Spencer Martin. Yeah, I get it. Quick's been awful, and it is indeed Spencer Martin. It is confirmed. It's Spencer Martin for the Rangers. Quick's been awful. I get it. It's very hard to go back to him with what we've seen so far. But we're going to say that Spencer Martin's now the bee's knees now because of the Philadelphia win. I'm not there with that statement. as far as Spencer Martin. There's a lot of firepower and obviously ability to put the puck in the net with Anaheim that he's going to have to contend with here tonight in this game. So Spencer Martin doesn't sway me one bit. This is Anaheim money line, Anaheim team total over split for me, 3.5 even money, and give me over 6.5 too. I think there's goals too, because I think the one thing we've seen some unders now with Anaheim, but let's not forget that the last 3 Anaheim unders, Dallas can't score right now. They are dormant offensively. They've scored just 1 goal in each of the last 3 games, Dallas. And then the other 2 unders were the 2 games over the weekend against Los Angeles. Well, Los Angeles can't score half the time anyway. So we can't make that big of a deal that Anaheim has gone under in 3 straight games. I think this is more of an up and down affair. So give me Ducks money line, Ducks team total over 3.5, full game over 6.5. Alex, what do you think here? Rangers, Ducks.
I'm keeping it simple with Ducks in regulation plus $1.10. Like you said, Spencer Martin getting the start. It makes a lot of sense because you got tomorrow in LA. That's going to be Jonathan Quick, of course, going up against his old team, the Kings. Possibly could be his last time playing at what was formerly called Staples Center. Who knows? So it makes sense that Martin would get the start here. But like I said, he's not a guy that's worth trusting. I like Anaheim in the spot. I think they get it done within 60. So plus 110 with the regulation money line.
All right, Anaheim in regulation. Energized saying maybe the letter woke them. I don't know. I got to see more. 1 win against Philly with a third-string goalie in nets, not a sign that, they responded to Chris Drury's letter that he put out there for the New York Rangers. But I get that angle. If you want to roll with it, that's fine. I got to see more, though. I'm not convinced. I still think it's a pretty awful hockey team, the New York Rangers. And Philly they weren't just bad. They were pathetic. Philadelphia to start that game against the Rangers on Saturday. So I personally need to say more. Chris Drury just wrote them a letter. Yes, he did. That's the old song. Box Tops, Joe Cocker covered it too, the letter. And Chris Drury certainly writing that letter. That's not saving the Rangers season, at least not to me. What do you think here, Perlo? Rangers, Ducks.
It just reminds me of that movie. Like he wrote him a letter. It's like the Brumston. Yeah, we're gonna have to.
I don't know how much money he's got to spend. Gotta hire a new GM again.
Yeah,
Lonely days are here. The Rangers fucking suck. Chris Drury just wrote them a letter. There you go.
I'm gonna have to ask you to accept a rebuild. If you just do that, that reminds me of that. Yeah, I like Anaheim all day here. Team total over. You got Rangers. This is a look ahead spot. Playing for Quick tomorrow. If they decide to play for Quick, they haven't been playing for Quick all year either. So you're going to decide to play for Quick tomorrow? All right. Have a little party or whatever you're going to do. I think the Rangers.
Let's be honest. Quick and Martin is the lesser of 2 evils thing in that.
I saw them when they had what's that goaltender's name? I could have scored. I could have threw a puck from here and probably hit Philadelphia.
Kolosov? Yeah.
Kolosov. Yeah, whatever. I saw they showed pans of the Rangers players. They were laughing to each other and stuff like that about the game and stuff like that. I kind of got the sense that it was like, hey, we're not even trying here and we're winning against this goaltender. So I really don't think they're trying that hard here, the New York Rangers. And I really feel sorry for Sullivan as a coach because it seems like a mail-in. I like Anaheim. I like Anaheim here. First period puck line. Team total over, Anaheim money line, and heck, I'll throw it on the in regulation too. Just everything Anaheim in this game.
All right, there we go. Good stuff. Yeah, Cutter Gauthier, birthday boy. I could see that. Definitely him finding the back of the net, the birthday angle. Certainly could see him maybe chip in a little bit here in this game tonight. I'm going to try to ride there's one rain. I like Granlund too. I'm going to try to ride the wave with Mr. Othman though for the Rangers. Plus 850. Finally scored his first NHL goal last time against Philadelphia. We'll see if maybe he can. And Gabe Perreault was scored in a couple games there too. I mean, I'm not going to trust the veterans to show up every night because sometimes they don't. Panarin and Lafreniere and Zibanejad and JT Miller's had games where he's been invisible on the ice. But like I said, these young guys, some of them are still playing hard, like Gabe Perreault, like a Brennan Othman, who's now been called up to the team. So I'd want to take more shots with props with players like that. Younger guys, they're saying, give me a freaking effort at least. it's in some of these games, and you might at least get that from some of those players on this Rangers team. All right, last game, New York Islanders, Vancouver Canucks. We've got the Islanders minus 140, road favorites, 6 the total, shaded to the under, 5.5 actually in some spots. So shop around depending on which side of the total. You know it's bad with Vancouver when I laid $1.40 with the Islanders. I did. I laid $1.40 with the Islanders. That's how bad this Vancouver team is now. They are right now, and they've fallen to dead last in my power ratings, the Vancouver Canucks. They're a terrible hockey team. They're awful. And if anything, the Islanders, we've talked about this with them. They're good as a dog because they've played up to competition, and they've sometimes played down to competition. And we saw that against Calgary on Saturday, losing that game at home. But I still think this Vancouver team is just a sorry outfit right now. They're brutal. There's nothing they do well. They're not scoring goals. Their special teams stink. The goaltending without Thatcher Demko is a mess. Lankinen's inconsistent, and Tolopilo ain't it. And defensively, they're not playing well at all right now. Breakdowns left and right. In theory, this is supposed to be an Islanders spot to step up because they lost to Calgary. Don't take this team for granted. And if they don't take this team for granted, they win, and they possibly win going away. So give me the Islanders here, minus 140. I don't even mind what Jonathan's saying, the puck line shot with the New York Islanders. But I'm just going to play it a little safer here. Money line minus 140. What do you think here, Alex? Islanders, Canucks.
It's funny. I haven't bet a puck line in a while, but that definitely looks like a mode to go with. I was actually just going to roll with the team total. I was just trying to check around to see what the best prices available were for Isles team totals. Yeah, plus 124 in the 3.5. I could see this Islanders team getting 4 goals against Vancouver. Like I said, as messy as they are right now, I don't see this being a 2-0, 2-1 kind of a contest for the Isles. So yeah, give me the Isles team total, 3.5 plus 124, and maybe a little small sprinkle on that puck line as well. But they said Vancouver's the worst team in the league right now at this point.
Sure looks that way to me. And Jonathan's suggestion, something he looked at was Vancouver team total under. Yeah, I mean, and Sorokin is going to be in net for the New York Islanders. Not only has he had a good season for the most part, but he's coming off a phenomenal showing against Edmonton with that 1-0 shutout victory that he had. So if you like under 2.5 with the Vancouver team total, under 2.5 at even money, I wouldn't talk anyone out of that. I don't know if the Canucks are going to be scoring goals in bunches here tonight against an Islanders team off a loss, and going with Sorokin here in net, who's coming off a shutout win himself versus Edmonton last week. Perlo, what do you think here, Islanders, Canucks?
You don't think Drew O'Connor, David Kampf, and Evander Kane's going to get it done tonight?
No, I don't. Actually, I like O'Connor a little bit, but the other two, no, you can have them.
That's the second line. I like O'Connor too, but I mean, you're getting passes from David.
You can hardly tell. Evander Kane still plays for Vancouver. You can hardly tell.
Yeah, no, he's. Yeah. Anyways, I won't get into that. This is Islanders. We talked about it last night. This is Islanders all day. If they lose this one, I mean, there's trouble and a little bit of trouble on the island. I mean, you can't be losing this game. I know Vancouver's in a desperation spot, but you can be desperate all you want. Philadelphia is in a desperation spot, but if you got Kolosov in net, you can be desperate all you want. It ain't gonna happen. And if you got Kampf as your second line center, you can be desperate all you want. And the Islanders are in a desperation spot too. So yeah, Islanders in regulation. Puck line, whatever you want to do. And I got a bargain bin from this game as well.
All right, there you go. A little tease for later. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Thanks for joining us here on this Martin Luther King Day, a holiday, of course, south of the border. Make sure you check out wizardsportspicks.com. National championship game tonight in college football. Miami, Indiana, looking forward to that, but also NHL, NBA, college basketball, all ongoing. We're down to the Final Four in the NFL as well, with Conference Championship Sunday coming up. So check out all the daily premium picks. Check out the long-term subscription options as well. Number one on the website in both NHL and NFL for me. It's been great. We're going to look to keep it rolling. Check it out at wizardsportspicks.com. And also check out patreon.com/iceguys. Just $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, daily betting card, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. Get on board if you haven't already. The response has been great. And again, $10 per month. Your membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. So get on board. Just $10 per month. Patreon.com/iceguys.
And also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We've got hats, we've got hoodies, we've got jackets, we've got all kind of wonderful merchandise available for you right now to purchase over at the website. So check that on out. That's over at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
And last but not least as well, yes, there we go. So I was blanking on it for a minute. Yes, we got to remind everyone, it's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, the big night, our first live betcast of the new year. 2026, our first live betcast. This one is open to everybody, free for all, open to the public. Tuesday, January 20th, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you join us for this first Ice Guys NHL live betcast of the new year. And again, DM or email me or Alex to join a spot, to join us on the betcast, and we will send you the link for the betcast as it begins. So again, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Looking forward to the first live betcast of the new year. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Kings and Queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis. Check them out, royalcannabisshop.com, 20% off with promo code ICEGUYS. All right, bargain bin special of the night. Got a nice little run going with the bargain bin special. Someone is cashing a bargain bin special most shows, most nights. It was Alex last night with the Silly Pod Colson for Edmonton. And Alex, we'll start with you as always, bargain bin special of the night.
I've got a pair of them tonight. First, we will start in 1901 West Madison. You've got Winnipeg taking on Chicago. And I'm loving this move for Colton Dock moving up to the top line. You can get him at plus 875 at BetMGM, anytime goal scorer. That's an awfully high price for a first-line guy and a guy who always finds himself in the front of the net. So Colton Dock, anytime goal, plus 875. That's my first bargain bin special. Second bargain bin special, we go to that Rangers game against the Anaheim Ducks. We like the Ducks to get all over Spencer Martin and company in that one. And look for the birthday boy, Cutter Gauthier, to score not once but twice. 2+ goals at 11-1. You can get that at FanDuel. So Cutter Gauthier, 2 goals at plus 1,100. Colton Dock with anytime goal plus 875. Those are my 2 bargain bin specials for this Monday.
All right, great stuff. Perlo, bargain bin special of the night.
All right, first of all, before we go on, yeah, we talked about the show. I do a show at 9:30 Eastern. However, I will not be on tomorrow night. It's tomorrow night, right? Tomorrow night, because the betcast will be on. So get yourself all hooked up on that. I do not miss that. I love the show, but I love money more. And if you love money, you want to be on that live betcast because it pops and it's fun. It's just a blast. So won't be on tomorrow night, but I will be on tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Rico and Perlo's house of exotic Jaime's Picks Frolic. Catch it all. We'll have all the plays for the next day. And you'll get we get some great cappers on there, exotic wagers, of course. And of course, JD is on there all the time. So yeah, come and enjoy it. Check it out. And for my bargain bin, I got two, and I don't do this often, but I got two from the same game as well. I like to cut. I talked about Vancouver's problems in depth at center there. I think Pageau has been playing really well as of late. He got one last game. He's getting lots of shots too. So I'm going to go with Pageau for the Islanders at plus 400 to score a goal. And I'm going to go for Schaefer over 1.5 points at plus 370 in that game as well.
Oh, two bargain bin specials from Perlo as well, and two from me also on this slate. We will begin with Winnipeg, Chicago, and I am going to go to Mr. Taves. Jonathan Taves, the man of the hour, going back to Chicago here now as a member of the Winnipeg Jets. And don't forget, prior to the last game against Toronto, he didn't score in that game, but he had been on a nice little multi-game goal streak prior to that game. So he's actually been in some solid offensive form of late. We'll go with Jonathan Taves back in Chicago and back on the scoreboard tonight. Jonathan Taves, Winnipeg, plus 360 for my first bargain bin special of the night. My second, I mentioned earlier that it was going to come from the New Jersey-Calgary game. I love this one. He's not only heating up big time for those Flames, but this is the team he started his career with. Give me Igor Sharangovich, plus 340 for the Calgary Flames, and he has been really starting to light the lamp offensively for the Calgary Flames of late, and now he gets to go up against his former team, the New Jersey Devils. So there you go. Jonathan, former player angle with both bargain bin specials tonight. Jonathan Taves, Winnipeg, plus 360. Igor Sharangovich, Calgary, plus 340 for my bargain bin specials for this Monday night.
I like both of those. Solid.
Good stuff. There we go.
Yeah.
I think they might be on Alex's card, it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right, best bets. Alex, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet?
Yeah, let's head on up to Toronto. And we haven't done a draw best bet in a while, but I like this spot here with Minnesota and Toronto to go past 60 minutes. We've seen 3 of the last 4 games. I think you said 5 of the last 8 with Toronto have gone past regulation. We've seen 3 of the last 4 meetings with these two teams go past regulation. So I'm expecting the close one to go a little bit long tonight with the Wild and Maple Leafs. Give me the draw there. Best price available is Caesars. Game to go to overtime, yes, at plus 340.
There you go. Wild Leafs draw plus 340 for Alex with best bet. Perlo, best bet.
Yeah, I usually give a prop and a regular bet. So I've been back and forth on the regular bet, but I think I'm just going to take the Islanders in regulation for my regular bet. And for the prop bet, I'm going to take that Logan Cooley over 24.5 saves in New Jersey, Calgary.
Good stuff. And best bet for me for this slate, I'm just going to keep it simple. Just keeps on cashing. I wouldn't be shocked if it does one more time here tonight. Let's go Winnipeg, Chicago, over 5.5, minus 122 at DraftKings is the best price out there. So great price, great number, over 5.5, minus 122 at DraftKings. Jets, Blackhawks, 9 straight Winnipeg games with 6+ goals. I think we see more of the same tonight. So Winnipeg, Chicago over 5.5 for best bet. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Tomorrow's a big day. Live show 2 p.m. Eastern and the live betcast 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Don't you dare miss it. Reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. For Alex P. Smith and Perlo, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Monday. Enjoy the rest of your MLK Day. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will see you tomorrow for a big Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Ice Guys.